So I've made a couple of changes to the old expander, brand new, and we've changed it. Nothing quite like chopping holes in a brand new Caravan. So what I've done is I've actually made this hatch here bigger, because it was this one here, that hatch there on an angle like that, which was just dumb. So I've made that bigger so you can access that a lot better inside there now, which is really good, because it was a bit of pain in the neck having to pull things sideways all the time. So that's where we put the water hoses and our ramps and pads and all that different bits and pieces. We've got a grey water hose there as well, so it's nice and easy to get to, which is good. Pretty easy to install really, which we'll go through soon. And they've got, in these expanders, they've got little storage just under the bed, and they don't have these hatches, so I've put a hatch in here, chopped it in, it sort of fits, and I'm going to put that one that was from down here, that one from there, which is this one here, I'm going to put over on this side so we can access it from this side as well, because once the beds are down it's a bit of a pain in the neck trying to get to everything. So we'll pop that one in here and hope it fits. So we'll see how we go. So what I've done is I've drilled a hole from the inside, just a little 5mm drill bit, which is 100mm up from the floor, and it's the center, so that gives me where I want to do my hole in here, so that it's going to be in the middle of everything. So hopefully it'll work out okay, otherwise I'm going to be buggered. But one thing that's a bit concerning is there's water coming out of here. Now, I don't know why there's water coming out. I hope I haven't drilled through a hose, which is weird because these things don't have hoses in them. So it's a bit weird. I might have to cut it a bit smaller and see what's in there. I think I'll do that. I think I'll put a hole saw through there and try and work out what's in there first, because otherwise I'm going to be in a bit of strife. But they don't normally put these Jaycos, everything's run underneath and surface mounted. So maybe you've got some water coming in from somewhere. Hope not. So I've just marked all this out and measured a few bits and pieces up. I actually cut a hole saw in the middle here because there's water coming out of there, and there's nothing in there because I know they're all Jayco stuff's all externally, because these are prefab panels and they don't run anything inside them because it takes a bit of time and costs a bit. That's why they can just punch these things out cheap. So there's a bit of water there. I don't know where it's coming from. So I've just marked this out along the bottom here because that's the floor inside. Got my centers, measured up my 335, which is my hole cut, but I've only got 320 inside. So this top cut, I've only got to cut on the outside of the skin, and then I'll just put a little angle piece inside there just to cover up that little top piece. But I've got to make sure that I don't go through, because otherwise I'll be inside the cabin of the car, of the van, and I don't want that at all. So I'll just cut this out up here. We'll go up to about here with the jigsaw, and then I'll probably space the jigsaw out a little bit and still use it as long as I don't go right through. So anyway, so I'm using these are great, these little things. It's actually got it from a tile shop, and you can get them in pencil, or this one's crayon, and it really shows up really well. They're great. They're awesome little things. They're just a little click down like you do for a normal lead pencil type of thing. Well, not lead anymore, but so I'll mark it all out and then work out. I'll probably cut a hole saw in the corner over here, I guess, to get my jigsaw started. Probably do the same up here, but I've got to be careful. If I do a hole saw up here, the pilot drill is going to go through probably. I'll have to measure it off here actually. I can do that. I'll measure it off here, make sure that my pilot drill is not going to go through the other side. If I can do that, then I'm right. Anyway, I'll draw it all out and we'll have a look. So the simplest way to draw it all out is I've got my centers. You just stick it up here and basically go around. I'll go around the inside to start with. Go around the inside because I can't get to the outside over here, and then I'll go around the outside as well here, just so I can see. I can't get to the outside. Anyway, if I cut on the other side of that line, if I cut on the other side of that line, I should be right, hopefully. Just gotta, yeah, I reckon probably I'll just mark down there a bit. I'll do that, get my ruler and mark it out, and then we'll go for cuts. So I'm going to use this size hole saw, which is like about a 50, 60. Well, we've got 51 mil. And the easiest way to find out where you want to put your pilot drill is you just get the thing and just put it backwards. Line it up with your lines and mark it in the middle of the arbor hole. And that's going to give you pretty close to where you want to be. Because sometimes when it's on the arbor, it's not quite that easy to line up. You think you got the pilot drill in the right spot, but then you drill it and it's blooming miles off. And once you drill that pilot drill, there's no turning back. You can't do another one. It just doesn't work. Because, you know, unless you're miles off. If you're miles off, then of course you can do another one. But if you're just right next to it, you're buggered. There's nothing you can do. Well, I want to come down here actually, because that's going to be my spot there. In here. So the old saying is like, measure 20 million times and cut once. So I'm just going to keep that down a little bit lower at the top. I can always trim it back a little bit more. That's the thing with this, is you can always trim it back a little bit more, but you can't add any more to it. Alright, well, this is the scary part because there's no turning back from here. Once we drill the hole, that's it. Unless the only other thing I could do is probably put another piece of checker plate over here and hide it behind the back there and you'd never notice. But anyway, let's give it a go. And I've checked the arbor, it doesn't go, pilot drill doesn't go all the way through, which is good, but I'm going to go all the way through here and we'll see what happens. So we threw the checker plate through the fiberglass. Some timber. Pretty tough. Yeah. Oh, the batteries run flat. So we got through. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit off with my measurements. About 10 mil out, so we'll just cut across the top here. There's enough of a flange on this that will cover that. Fortunately, we'll be able to get that in there, no worries at all. That'll work like a treat. Yeah. So I got my second hole saw drilled in, and now it's just a matter of getting the jigsaw, following the line here. You might tilt it up a little bit so I don't hack out the floor. Make sure there's no wiring in the way. Just pretty well gone around with a jigsaw. Just cut a basic hole in and have a look and see what we've got. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. We can trim this back a little bit. A bit of wiring in the way there, but that'll be all good. And then, oh yeah, that's good. We're just up to there. So we'll cut that across the front part. Let's see how it's going to fit. That's got to be trimmed out there. Yeah, a bit of trimming and she'll fit. So I've got a basic hole here cut out. It's gone into my cross member here. Can't go any higher on the inside than that. Down to floor level. Just got I've gone through the outer fiberglass skin here with my hole saw. I'll just take the pilot drill out so that it doesn't go through the inside. I've got to make sure to do this grub screw back up again so that the arbor sits correctly and we don't lose the grub screw. And then I can put that in because I've already got the hole there. and just get the foam out like that, pretty easy. Make sure to take it out, and then same on this side. Yep, nice and easy. Just whip that out a bit, there we go. Easy peasy. Actually that's pretty clean there, I might not even need to put anything on that, it looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to use is I'm going to actually use my multi-tool to cut this across here, make sure I don't go through onto the inside, so that should work like a treat. Alright, so a little bit more fiddling around, just trimming it back a little bit. Doesn't look the prettiest, but it all gets covered. Just make sure, I hope it gets covered. So see if it fits. It's going to fit. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Yep. So let's have a quick look and see if my tool bag that I want to fit in here and my compressor will fit. If not, I'll just put it on the other side. I'm hoping it'll fit. It should. I measured it up, so it should fit. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. And the air compressor, oh lovely, look at that, perfect. So we've got the old hatch in place now, so it's just a matter of taping up around the edges so I can glue it in. I use this is 6mm wide masking tape. It's got a bit old and it's falling to bits, unfortunately. I'll fix that up, but it's the beauty of this is it's very, very easy to bend it round corners, whereas the other stuff you can't bend round corners. Anyway, we'll get this masked up and we'll see how we go. So we've got it all taped up, so now it's just a matter of taking it out and putting some sealant on there. Now I've pre-drilled some holes in here too, so I've marked those so we know where they are, because I can see them now, but once I put a bit of sealant on there I might not be able to see them. So I think it's a good idea to do that. So yeah, I use the old Sudal sealant stick. This stuff's awesome. They make all of the silicons for all the grout, different coloured grouts and stuff for your bathrooms and loos and all that sort of stuff, and they make the old wicked T-Rex glue. So this is fast curing, and it's a really good sealant, so we'll just give a bit of a spooge. Push that in there and hopefully it'll be all good. So the screws I'm using is the self-drilling end on it for metal, and also goes into this fiberglass, so it's not too bad. So we've got the sealant on everywhere, which is good, and then I just use the old silicone things. And a trick that I find, that I discovered is I just use an old tube, and you just, as you're going, you scoop it in, and then once it's dry you just pull it out and Bob's your uncle, start again. Perfect, works like a treat, and you just throw that in the bin. But this stuff is extremely messy, so just start light. So I've got all the tape off, and now you can just tidy it up a little bit with a bit of metho. Just tip a little bit in the lid so that I don't put black stuff all through there, and just sort of give it a bit of a clean up. Just neaten it up a little bit. So all done and dusted, the finished product. And just give it a bit of a clean up once it dries, and I'll probably just put a bit more in that corner there, and I'll let it dry and just touch that up, make it a bit higher, because that's going to be water will sit in there. You don't want water sitting in there, so I'll wait a couple of days, dry it, tape it, and just put a little bit more in there. But other than that, it's come up pretty good. Pretty happy with that after chopping a hole in the side of our brand new Caravan. There we go. This little piece of aluminium here looks not too bad, and I've just put a little bit of black strip up there to hide it a bit. But no, I'm just going to get a little bit of moulding that you use on the edges of carpet, where carpet meets tiles or lino or whatever. Put that in there, stop the scrape, hide this little mark that I got there. Good to go. Perfect. So that's it. That's how you chop a hole in the side of your brand new Caravan. Bit scary, but anyway, it worked. Cheers. Thanks for watching.